While I have been using Microsoft OneNote as my second brain for almost 2 decades, I've just recently learned that terms such as Personal Knowledge Management, PKM, and Zettelkasten. Learning these concepts made me realize that with a proper digital tools and technique, I can improve my digital note-taking skill. Today, I would like to share my first impression about one of a PKM app, Capacities, that I have been using for about a month. Let's get started. Capacities was originally developed by Stefan Bleher and Michael von Hornhorst, who studied computer science and electrical engineering at university in Germany. They had thought existing digital note-taking apps were suboptimal as they were either too restrictive due to impulse limitation by traditional computer application design or too chaotic in an attempt to give too much freedom to users. On January 6, 2022, cloud-based note-taking app Capacities became available to public for the first time as open beta. On March 25, 2024, their server experienced outage for a little over an hour. While it sounds minor, the consequence of losing second brain access during critical moment of this long can be disaster. On April 24, 2024, the team has announced that the Capacities will be transforming into offline-first application. Second brain refers to the use of digital tools such as note-taking apps to organize information that complements our biological brain's capabilities. Personal knowledge management is the type of softwares that are designed or suited to be used as a second brain. The most well-known PKM apps are Evernote and Notion, but the others like Microsoft OneNote and even simple cloud-based note-taking apps such as Apple Note and Google Keep may be used as PKM. Personal knowledge management system has the word personal in it. Analogous to how each of us think and organize differently in our biological brain, the optimal PKM setup will be different amongst individuals based on what we do and how we use them. I have two primary distinct ways that I use PKM for, so I would like to share my review based on how and where Capacities fit in each of the use cases. I work in academics, so I give some lectures and conduct some researches for publications. For these, I use academic articles, literatures as reference. Up until recently, my self-learning and projects have only been partly integrated. This is in fact one area I feel proper PKM setup and use can improve my productivity. In the past, my self-learning process had been I read journal articles or books that I felt interested or important. These were essentially all in digital format. I highlighted and occasionally put a little notes in these articles, which are in PDF format. I save these files in Cloud Drive with own hierarchical organization. For ones I felt particularly important and maybe a bit more complicated, I tried to create quick summary or learning points for myself. For this, I had previously been using OneNote, so this is accessible anywhere, anytime via CloudSync. When preparing for lectures or publications, I do followings. Pick a topic or hypothesis for the article. I start to gather relevant references and start reading each. If they are relevant to my current research and can be used as a reference, I put it in a reference manager app. In my case, it's EndNote app. If it's an article, I have been using Microsoft Word to write manuscript. If it's in a presentation, I use Microsoft PowerPoint. They have always started from scratch in the past. The main reason I have decided to use dedicated PKM apps like Capacities is I want to integrate two processes. Rather than starting from scratch when writing a new manuscript, I would like to have part of references and even manuscript write-up ready based on my self-learning endeavor. From self-learning side, Capacities design not only allows but encourages me to create an atomic notes, which means each note contains only one idea. For example, Reading complex article containing many topics made me feel I had to read the full article, and if I were to take a note about it, I had to do it for whole article. This often discouraged me to bother taking note, as I felt incomplete note may not be a good idea and hoping to come back later for complete review. Not surprisingly, many articles or books ended up on my to-do list and never touched again. However, with atomic note or Zettelkasten concepts, I can just take a note even if I read only part of the article that was relevant to me. 3 features in Capacities that helps me to take atomic notes are Zettel object, block into object conversion, easy creation of links including backlink. Having the specific object type for small notes again encouraged me to take atomic notes. What I have quickly found helpful is that when I start taking notes, it was not infrequent that I realized the note can be actually even smaller unit than what I had originally anticipated. In which case, I can just convert a block of text within a note to separate atomic note. This can be as easy as selecting target blocks and choose turn into object. Or if I catch that I want to write specific note before actually typing, I can use plus and name of the note. Creating new notes in this way means that they should be related to each other. So the linking the notes are important. In Capacities, if I make new notes using these techniques, they are automatically linked. I can also easily link existing notes by using @ or double bracket to create links. It's crucial that these links create backlink so I can go back from the other note to current note. These features make taking note easier, therefore I start taking notes much more frequently than ever. I cannot install any third-party app on my work computers, so Capacities browser access is crucial to me. If I had to pull out my laptop or cell phone each time to take notes, it would have been definite hindrance and I could see myself take less note just for this extra step. My self-learning happens on work computer but also on my desktop and laptop, so automatic sync across all these devices are also a crucial part of my workflow, and I am glad Capacities support these. I find organizing note content using visual tools such as tables, images, highlight, and heading are fun and more importantly easier to retrieve the content when reading it in the future. Capacities makes these easier than traditional word processing apps like Microsoft Word or WordPress via supporting Markdown, drag and drop to create split column. I particularly find toggle and tab indentations in Capacities useful. Collapsing sections help me to focus when writing. Capacities does not support handwriting and there is currently no official plan. So if this is an important feature, you might need to look alternatives. All the links I create across multiple notes would be only useful if I can retrieve them in a meaningful, easy way. Similar to Obsidian, Capacities support graph view of how notes are related. While I have not had a chance to test this part yet, I'm hopeful that so long as I do it correctly, when the time comes, these features will allow me to create papers or presentation from my self-learning materials rather than redoing the works I've already done. One feature that I notice missing currently is filtering on graphs. For example, I feel certain tags such as in progress that I am using for status of a project doesn't really have a meaning as a link. So I hope developer will offer filtering of graph such as based on the specific tags, collections, and so on. While dynamic powerful search is a necessity on proper PKM, as we will be creating hundreds and thousands of notes, this feature is available to only paid subscribers. Capacity is not replacing a reference manager anytime soon for me. While it has PDF object type, once you add PDF file, you cannot edit them. There is no in-app editing tool. All I can do is view the PDF or download. If I download and make an edit, I can't replace the existing file. Instead, the app will create new PDF object. So original link created to the PDF object in my notes will still continue to point to the old one. However, in-app PDF editing is planned feature without release date. So currently my workaround is keeping PDF files in Google Drive with hierarchical folder organization. Then use the web links within my Capacities node. For these to work, I have to first upload the file in proper folder within Google Drive. Then when I paste the link, I have to manually rename the text in Capacities due to security preventing Capacities to get the name of the file. As a full-fledged reference manager, I will need a way to create formatted citation listings, but I highly doubt this would be implemented in Capacities anytime soon due to relative niche use. So for this, I will be stuck at using EndNote. Completely separate from my work, I've been writing blog posts and more recently start publishing YouTube videos related to game and technologies. There is zero overlap between my work role and these hobbies. The general workflow for creating these contents are as follows. Usually I come across something interesting topic by online search. I do more deeper research about the topic for pure curiosity reason. I get inspiration of writing a blog post or making YouTube video about them. First, I start writing a draft, usually one section at a time over days to weeks, with each sitting only half an hour to an hour at max. Reorganize, add or delete multiple times. Put all into one eventually and publish. Because these are just my hobby, I don't usually do these on one sitting, so it's usually a small chunk at a time. Then later, I try to combine pieces together, reorder. For this, I found Scrivener very helpful. The idea of writing something usually comes in when I have nothing else to do, such as doing driving, grocery shopping, and at restaurant waiting for food. While Scrivener can be set up to have own cloud sync, between my work, laptop, home desktop, and cell phone, the sync process never felt automatic. Furthermore, I find each Scrivener file to be its own project. So new fleeting thought may not have its own place. I have tried putting these into Apple Note, but tend to not get back to it because I either forget or feeling it's not ready to be project of its own. So most of times I don't do anything about the idea and stopped even taking notes about these ideas. After learning the concept of Zettelkasten, this is exactly what the fleeting notes are for. Capacities being automatically cloud synced and readily accessible from phone, and knowing they are always sitting there, I have started to capturing these ideas now as daily notes. Capacities allow me to quickly access calendar, and under each date we have a note for that day. So without thinking what I will do with that idea later, I can just put in there, not even worrying about tagging. Later, if I find this is real worth digging, I don't even need to copy and paste. Using the convert into object feature, I can make them into permanent Zettel notes. As I can only write small piece at a time, I want to do them in focused manner and only worrying, ordering, combining later time. For this, I find block-based writing of Capacities helpful. In particular, transclusion and collapsible toggle functionalities allow me to only look at section I am writing and put into single note later. These writings often require me to look other notes either as a reference or a quick check, so split screen is really handy. In fact, I've tried another PKM system without split screen and realized the workflow was severely limited for my use case with that application. Unlike my work-related topic, many of my knowledge related to hobbies come from YouTube, website, and some books. I really enjoy digging deep into the topics I found interesting. So there are lots of information I learned from each sources. So rather than directly creating atomic notes, I like to create more of a traditional side notes that are directly attached to the source. The main upside in Capacity is that what's called object-based note-taking app. So as a main way to categorize notes in Capacities, they use object. For example, we have an object type books or web links. So when I'm reading a book, I create a book object with book's title as the name of the object, putting author and upload book's cover page. When I am watching a YouTube video, I create the web link object. Then I put notes about the book or YouTube video directly on it. If I find one part of the book worth developing into atomic note, I again use a handy convert to object feature and leave the section embedded within the book. In the future, developer is planning to allow us to take notes based on YouTube timeline. While I don't use it, there are plugins people can set up to automatically transfer Kindle highlights. So there are a lot more potential here. For my blog, I use WordPress. Capacities do not have direct upload or publish capability. However, the copy and paste seem to work fairly well. This includes transclusion blocks. The one part it doesn't work is embedded object. They become hyperlink, unlike block transclusion element. Since block transclusion is limited to subscriber only, if this is the feature users need, you need to subscribe. While Capacities is planning to transition into full offline capable system, this has not happened yet. I would certainly like to work on these things during the time I don't have internet access, such as during international flight. So I hope it's coming soon. There are a few more points about Capacities I'd like to share. First, intuitiveness. Capacities is the best in class for its intuitiveness as PKM app, which has tendency to have steep learning curve. Their tutorials are concise and easy to follow. The clean minimalistic UI feels my attention, goes straight to note-taking itself. The system navigations are consistent across the board. Capacities emphasize its network-based organization and de-emphasize hierarchy organization. Since many of us are accustomed to folder-based hierarchical organization system, this could be a potential source of confusion, especially as a beginner. For complete isolation, I have work and personal notes separated by space. Currently, Capacities have no way to interact across different spaces. Nested tag is planned feature, but not yet available. Collection, which to me is essentially object type specific tags, is also limited to one level. This forced network note-taking system works for most part while number of nodes are small, but they could be programmatic as number of nodes continue to grow. So I'm certainly looking forward to nested tags and hoping future implementation of nested collection as well, and also at least basic interspace operation such as moving or copying nodes from one space to another. Phone apps are currently in early access to Believer tier subscribers only, but they are planned to be available soon to all. As of today, iPhone app feels less intuitive. Tablet app is planned to be coming out soon, but not yet available. Currently, Capacities have 3 tiers. Free basic plan gives media storage limit of 5 GB plus 100 MB per month afterwards. Certain features are only available to $9.99 per month pro tier subscribers, including usable to everyone feature like query object type. Believer subscriber gains beta access to major new features, even before pro users. At the moment, Capacities is an online-based system. While data are stored on encrypted servers, it sounds like the developers could have access to our nodes. I also do not understand technical detail of digital privacy, but this does not sound like a unique risk to Capacities. The big two PKM apps, Notion and Evernote, have potential access to our node contents as well. Currently, bulk import and export functionality of Capacities are limited, but it is planned. If you have a large collection of nodes in other platform, you might need to wait a bit for this. In fact, at the moment, I do not believe Capacities even support their own file backup and restore. For example, I could not find any way to back up my existing space, then create new one and restore from the backup. In conclusion, Capacities is intuitive yet highly customizable. Their online content document, YouTube videos are concise, easy to follow, and practical. Overall, my current daily workflow seems to be handled fairly well, even with free basic version of Capacities. In contrast to other PKM apps such as Obsidian and AnyType, Capacities was not originally built for offline in mind. While the transition of offline first is taking place or just recently announced, this may take a while, and we won't quite know exactly how will that look in the end, such as end-to-end encryption support, custom cloud sync support via iCloud, Dropbox, and so on. Potential downside to some users is Capacities have some advanced features that are exclusive to subscribers. Features such as query object and block transcriptions are useful to many users, yet they are exclusive to subscribers. Also, the system is cloud sync only as of today, yet if you are a free user, there is media storage space limit. That's all I got. Thanks for watching.